So that's the thing. It just shows you that Ricardo's not great anywhere. He's just good everywhere. Because if he was a great striker, he would not get outstruck in all his fights and get embarrassed on his feet. Danny is 2-2 in the UFC. So he's the definition of inconsistent. Okay, we're back with another prediction video. UFC in Paris. We have Ricardo Ramos versus Danny Henry. To be honest, both of these guys are a little overrated, and these are some of the most inconsistent guys in the featherweight division. When you watch them fight, they look great in certain fights, but they look horrible in other fights. So with both of these guys, you never know what to expect or which version of them will show up. First fighter is Ricardo Ramos. He's notorious for landing the multiple spinning elbows. He landed the first one against A-Man Zahabi, and the last was in his last fight against Danny Chavez. Most fighters never get a high-level knockout, but the thing is with Ricardo Ramos, that's what he's known for. He's known for the spinning back elbows, but he alternates wins and losses. He has a couple embarrassing losses in the UFC. For example, when he fought against Lerone Murphy, he got taken down and ground and pounded in brutal fashion. It was weird because Ricardo Ramos, even though he has the 2 spinning back elbow knockout wins in the UFC, his best part of his game is his jiu-jitsu. He's extremely athletic and aggressive on his feet, and he throws good combinations of kicks and punches. But he uses his strikes well to set up takedowns, and that's where he's at his best. And he's real excellent in transitions. But the thing is, on the ground, you would have thought that Ricardo would have the advantage against Lerone Murphy. And to me, it shows that Ricardo is not great anywhere. He has good submissions, he has good takedowns, and he has decent striking. We've seen him knocked out before. He was TKO'd against Said Nurmagomedov, where Said was able to throw the spinning back kick and finish Ricardo. And also when he fought against Tybura Tuhugov, that was an extremely close fight, but Tybura was able to walk him down, apply pressure, and outstrike Ricardo. And actually, in most of Ricardo's fights in the UFC, he's been outstruck. Bill Algeo outstruck Ricardo 76 significant strikes to Ricardo's 53. Yes, Ricardo was able to take him down 8 times, but on the feet, Bill was destroying Ricardo. Also, Ki Young Ho Kang outstruck Ricardo, and A-Man Zahabi was outstriking him up until he got finished. So that's the thing. It just shows you that Ricardo is not great anywhere. He's just good everywhere. Because if he was a great striker, he would not get outstruck in all his fights and get embarrassed on his feet. Another thing is, when he fought against Bill Algeo, he was able to take Bill down 8 times. And this is very weird because prior to that, the most takedowns he had in the fight was 3. And he averaged like around 2 takedowns a fight. That just shows you never know which version of Ricardo that you get when you fight. His opponent is Danny Henry. He's 12-4, 5 wins by knockout, 5 wins by submission, 2 wins by decision. He's a finisher. He only has 2 of his wins by decision, so he's trying to get the job done. He's not trying to go to the decision. But the thing is, he has 2 submission losses. So he has 2 losses back-to-back against Amir Khan and against Dan Ige, where he was finished in the first round. Yeah, when he fought against Dan Ige, he got dropped and hurt on the feet, and then he got submitted. But when he fought against Amir Khan was just able to take him down and choke him and win by anaconda choke. So even though Danny has 5 submission wins, we've seen him out-grappled before in fights. And Danny is 2-2 in the UFC, so he's the definition of inconsistent. He's not a bad fighter, he's very talented. The way he fights, he kind of reminds me of Dan Hooker. He's long, he's tall for the weight class, and he fights on the outside, but he's looking to finish his opponent. So even though he fights on the outside, he's real dangerous and he's very powerful. When he fought against Hakeem Dawodu, he was able to hurt Hakeem and guillotine him in 39 seconds. Danny is pretty inconsistent. Like, he won his first 2 in the UFC. He lost his last 2. So both of these guys are inconsistent. They both are supposed to be so dangerous on the ground, but we've seen them out-grapple in fights. One thing that stands out is Danny Henry's 2 submission losses and the fact that he lost 2 in a row by submission. I think Ricardo has a significant advantage on the ground when it comes to submissions, and I think Ricardo is going to get the fight to the ground. He's going to get the submission. That's my prediction. Ricardo by first round submission.